Because we have been gaming a hell of a lot in lockdown.
Yeah.
Well, I certainly have anyway.
Yeah, same.
Too much.
I used to be like, oh yeah, I've got nothing to do, that's fine, but I genuinely have nothing else to do. So either that or
It's the perfect excuse. I'm not complaining on that front, to be honest.
Yeah.
So long as I'm not doing it in working hours, it's fine.
Yeah. Obviously. Never in working hours. Never. Hey guys, welcome back to another Thread Daily with me, Charlie, and our gaming editor, Jamie. Today we thought we'd talk about the upcoming PS5 event that's been announced for the 11th of June. We thought it would be a good intro to talking about the way that the next-gen consoles could change the gaming industry. I'm a really big PlayStation fan, and Jamie is a really big Xbox fan, and we thought it would be a good contrast to talk about the way things might change moving forward.
We'll promise not to get in any scraps or anything like that.
There's no beef here. We're all here to chat. Talking about the new consoles, the first thing that we've seen properly concrete about the gameplay for a new console is Epic Games' a demonstration of the Unreal Engine that they showed off in May. It runs natively on a PlayStation 5 and it's not pre-rendered, and there's a ton of features to go through, which Jamie's outlined for us nicely. Do you want to go through them, Jamie?
Yeah, we'll take you through them right now. High on the agenda is they want film quality assets to be in their games. So visuals is a huge part. Looming is the in-game lighting system, which is now dynamic lighting. Before, in linear games or single-player games, lighting will have been rendered and created specifically for that scene and it would never change. But this lighting is completely dynamic, so it can change and move around and the in-game bounce stays really solid. Next up, we have the Niagara effect system, which means that details within the game are going to react in a way that you would expect. Groups of animals, bugs, things like that. They're no longer going to be clambering on top of one another, bumping into each other and just there for the sake of making the world look dense. They actually have their own paths and can sort of interchange, talk to one another and perform naturally, which is really cool.
Specialized audio features as well, with like real reverb that depends on the environment you're in. In the demo you can hear the rocks falling from different distances and you get very much an immersive kind of vibe to it.
For the buffs out there that want to know how much detail we're talking, there are over 1 billion triangles of source geometry in each frame. Like, triangles are often the size of single pixels within this new nanite system. It's like photorealistic, it's crazy.
I did think in the demo there were so many times where they just said the word triangles. Triangles on top of triangles. And more triangles.
Yeah.
Billions of triangles.
They said hundreds of billions of triangles.
I was like, is this even a game or am I just going to get like a screen
we're
of
playing
triangles?
Tetris. Obviously there's a ton of improved animation as you'd expect, because you can't have all of this good stuff and then have your character just extending their legs like wooden legs as they walk up and down stairs.
As well as the demo, we also have a bunch of specs that were revealed a couple months ago for developers, for the PlayStation 5 specifically. We've got a bunch of 8X Zen 2 cores that run at 3.5 GHz, which sounds like a load of jargon. They've hyped up this whole thing called variable frequencies, which basically means that the PlayStation 5 will be putting performance at the forefront of the experience, and things can like adapt and change depending on what stresses are being put on the console. As well as that, we've got a 825GB SSD, which basically means that loading times are promised to be non-existent. So that will be really interesting because it means that speeds can be increased in terms of traveling. So if you have a racing game, there's a lot more options that are opened up. Less loading allows for more detailed environments, bigger spaces. Right now the PlayStation has no performance target, but the Xbox does have that, and it's 4K 60 FPS, which we kind of assume Sony are going to do the same. And basically the difference between the two consoles is PS5 is going for the more adaptive, fluid, kind of performance-focused approach with less impressive specs. And we've got Microsoft who's going with all out with like top-end specs, similar to PCs.
What you can cram into the box.
What are you most excited for the next gen, Jamie? What are you most looking forward to?
For me, it is the possibility for how this new tech can make gaming just as immersive as it's ever been. If I'm playing a game and like a mechanic's slightly off, or I don't know, an AI character in the background's running around and it's just something's amiss, then it really spoils it for me. And obviously the lack of loading screens.
That's the thing I'm definitely like most excited for is the loading times. It just means there's a lot more you can do in the space. There's a lot more visually that can happen. You can move around much quicker. Like, nothing has to be capped, there's no real limit, which I think is really exciting. What are the biggest improvements you're looking for?
For me, just closing the gaps like to PC's the salient point here, because they've been so far ahead for so long. For me, I just want great visuals, immersive gaming, and like a ton of exclusives that we can get stuck into, like loads of really detailed worlds, single player games.
The biggest thing I want from the PS5 is genuinely just a quieter fan, because the PS4's fan is by far its biggest problem. I think I would take that over everything else, to be honest. Just a quiet console. I have a PS4 Slim, which apparently is supposed to be quieter, so God knows what the original's like.
Yeah, the original
Like
probably sounds like it's going to take off.
To conclude, right, I reckon with the two new consoles, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, I think both of these could really change the industry standard is the big thing, like nearly no loading times, better lighting and environments, flexible performance as well. I just hope every game works correctly, basically.
Same. I'm done with bugs, man. Done.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to message any devs on Twitter or anything like that. I'm done with that.
You're like, what is this, man?
Yeah, fix your games 2020.
I do think the gap between performance-wise PC and console is going to continue to shrink. I don't know if that will bring people over or not. Yeah, the gaming industry I feel like has gone back a little bit full circle, in the sense that it used to be 10 years ago these companies were trying to get like a casual market, like the mums and grandparents as well, and I feel like because of mobiles and tablets and apps and stuff like that, that's where that market has kind of gone. The industry in general as well has just moved its core ideals back to just gaming, which I really appreciate.
Single player is king again, and I'm so happy for that. I really am.
Let us know what you think, guys, because obviously like gaming is a really heated topic and people are very opinionated on the subject. So we'd love to know what you guys think, what you're looking forward to, what you're hoping to get, whether you're even going to get the console at launch. Also make sure you subscribe to Thread. We have videos coming out every week now. It's all popping off. And make sure you check out the website thread.com, which I'm sure Elliot will put in a lovely graphic here. And we'll see you later.
Keep gaming. You're not just there sipping your tea, you know, while you're in an elevator or a cutscene or something.
Yeah, I played Fallout 4 recently, and there's bits where literally a building is like 3 stories tall, but the elevator will just fly, like in the elevator, and it's going up in a tiny building for like literally like a minute. I'm like, how tall is this goddamn building? I know it ain't that tall, I've seen it from the outside.